Hey fifth graders, today we're going to take a look at adding mixed numbers with regrouping. So we're going to look at a little bit more difficult of a situation in which we need to regroup when we're adding together mixed numbers. So remember, the nice thing about mixed numbers is that we can separate mixed numbers between its whole parts and its fractional parts, and we can add them separately. So we can add our whole number parts and our fractional parts separately when we're adding mixed numbers, and this actually makes our lives a lot easier by doing so. Now sometimes we run into a little bit of a jam, but nothing that you can't handle, where our fractional pieces become improper fractions. So sometimes the sum, remember we're adding, so that's the answer to your addition problem. So sometimes the answer, the sum of your fractional pieces, become improper fractions. So what do we do in that case? Because we don't really love having final answers with improper fractions. Have no fear. You already have the skills that you need to be able to handle this situation. Just go ahead and turn your improper fraction into a mixed number. Then what you're going to do is you're going to separate that mixed number yet again, and you are going to regroup the whole number piece with the other whole number pieces of your sum. So you are going to regroup the whole number part of the mixed number that you just created with the whole number parts of the sum. Then we add the whole numbers last. So let's do an example to make sense out of this, because I think in words it's a little bit confusing, but I think it'll make a ton of sense for you if we work through an example. So let's go ahead and break up. We have 4 3/4 plus 3 4/5. So we have 4 whole things, and in a different color just to really emphasize, and 3/4 of a thing plus 3 whole things and 4/5 of a thing. Now normally, yesterday, we were adding the whole numbers first. Today, we're going to go ahead and actually add the fractional pieces first, because what we're going to realize is we're going to have those improper fractions that we're going to need to deal with. So the first thing we need to do is we need to create common denominators. So I've left some space for us to make our fraction flags to show our work. So I'm going to go ahead and create a blank fraction flag for myself. Now we need common denominators, fourths and fifths. The least common multiple is 20. You can also get that by multiplying your 4 times your 5. So I'm going to multiply this guy by 4 over 4, and I get 16/20ths on the bottom. And I'm going to multiply this guy by 5/5, and I get 15/20ths right there. So now let's go ahead and add these two together, because we are indeed adding. 15 plus 16 is 31/20ths. Okay, so this is where we kind of run into that jam. We don't love having an improper fraction in our final answer. What we're going to do is turn this into a mixed number. The way we do that is by dividing, because remember, a fraction bar is a division symbol forever and for always. 20 goes into 30 one whole time, and there is 11 left over, and 11/20ths. This is where we are going to regroup. We are going to take that one whole thing, and we are now going to carry it or regroup it with our other whole numbers. And our fractional piece is going to be part of our answer, because now this is a proper fraction, which we like as final answers. So this 11/20ths is going to stay right here, and then we are going to add our whole number pieces. 1 plus 4 plus 3, well that's 7 plus 1 more is 8. So our final answer would be 8 and 11/20ths. So again, what you're doing is you're regrouping, you're taking this one whole thing and you're adding it to your other whole things. Let's do another example to make more sense out of this. 15 and 5/8, so we have 15 whole things here, and we have 13 whole things here. All right, and we have 5/8 and 2/3. Okay, so all I've done is broken it up into my whole number pieces and my fractional pieces. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create my common denominators. Eighths and thirds, the least common multiple is going to be 24ths. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and throw 24 over here, and now I figure out what I need to multiply by. 8 times 3 gives me 24. What you do the bottom, you got to do the top. So that's going to be 15 24ths, and here I'm multiplying by 8, and that's 16. Oh, ironically again. 15 up top and 16. We are adding these together. 15 plus 16, well, that gives me 31 24ths. Now again, my next step is, we don't love having this in our final answer, okay? We need to turn that into a mixed number. 24 goes into 31 one whole time. And the difference between 24 and 31 is 7. Now this is where we are going to regroup. So I'm going to take my one whole thing, and I'm just going to add it to my other whole things. I'm going to go ahead and throw that up top here. I'm going to add it to my other whole things. And then this is now my fractional piece of my answer. So my grand total here is 8 plus 1 is 9. 1 and 1 is 29. So that is 29 and 7 24ths. Let's go ahead and take a look at a couple of examples on the back side just to really solidify this skill of regrouping. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and stack these up vertically. So I've got 3 and 7/9 plus 4 and 2/6. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and create my fraction flag for myself because I have unlike denominators. 9 and 6, we can turn both of those into 18 really nicely. I need to multiply 9 by 2, so that's 14 18ths, and I need to multiply 6 by 3, so that's 6 18ths. And I'm going to add my fractional pieces first. So 14 plus 6 gives me 20 18ths. I'm going to go ahead and turn this into a mixed number. 18 goes into 20 one whole time, and there's 2 left over. Now I'm going to go ahead and take this one step further, and I will simplify because I definitely want my fractions to be in simplest form. They're both even, so I can divide them both by 2, and that gets me 1/9 for the fraction piece. And now I'm going to regroup. So I'm going to go ahead and take this one whole thing, and I'm going to combine it up here with my other whole things, okay? And then I'm going to take my 1/9, which was equal to my 2 18ths, which is equal to this guy, and it's going to be my fractional piece. 1 plus 3 plus 4 is 8. Your answer is 8 and 1/9. Let's do another example together. Now the simplifying, sorry about that, I'm kind of running out of space. Hopefully this one will be a little neater. So let's go ahead and stack those up. So the second one, we've got 23 and 4/5 plus 19 and 2/3. Step 1 is we need to create common denominators. So let's go ahead and set up our fraction flag. 5 and 3, our least common denominator would be 15. So I'm multiplying by 5 over 5, and I get 10 15ths, and here I'm multiplying by 3 over 3, and I get 12. I'm adding those together, and I get 22 15ths. Turn that into a mixed number. 15 goes into 21 one whole time, and there is a difference of 7. This is where we are now going to regroup. We're going to go ahead and take this one whole thing, and we're going to regroup and throw it together with our other whole things here. And our 7 15ths will stay underneath our fractions. That's our fractional piece. 1 plus 3 plus 9, well, that's 13. Carry the 1. 2, 1, and 1 is 4. 43 and 7 15ths would be the answer there. I want you to go ahead and try the next 4 on your own. And you can go ahead and check my completed version of the notes to check your solutions.